I woke up 4:30 this morning. My son's had the flu. I'm not feeling great. My heart was racing. I'm noticing that I'm having some anxiety. Just haven't given myself the time to heal.
From the premiere until Blake Lively filed her paperwork, Justin Baldoni had been quietly trying to send some messages through his silence, all while preparing to defend himself with every piece of evidence he had. He knew Blake wouldn't stop lying, and he had to fight back to protect his career. Blake Lively initially accused Justin of launching a smear campaign against her, despite knowing that her own past and present interviews had contributed to most of the negative narratives. This was enough for the public to form their own opinions. However, Justin never made any harmful statements about Blake, even on the day she sent him to the basement during the premiere, despite the difficulties he faced with her on set. Despite the challenges, Justin continued to speak highly of her.
So I'm hoping to see you back in the double duty role.
I think that there are better people for that one.
Justin.
I think Blake Lively's ready to direct. That's what I think.
Knowing just how much Blake challenged him on set, trying to take over key decisions for the project, combined with Justin's comment about how there were better people for the job and that Blake was ready to direct, it became clear that this was a significant warning from a place of frustration. It highlighted how Blake's behavior was pushing him to the edge. Justin was unhappy with the situation, but still made a conscious effort to speak positively about her, avoiding creating chaos among the fans, something Blake didn't seem concerned about. To better understand the depth of Justin's distress at the time, one only needs to look at Colleen Hoover's reaction when she was informed about the situation.
Well, your movie today is directed excellent, but perhaps Blake would. Is that something that you would entertain?
The eye roll was a reaction from someone who witnessed the drama unfold on set and saw that Justin was being unfairly treated, yet still didn't care, even after being involved with him before Blake was brought on board. Interestingly, this was around the time when the entire cast seemed to avoid drawing attention to the behind-the-scenes tension. This was odd because it was fairly obvious due to the separate media and PR tours that the two main leads had been engaged in before Blake amended her lawsuit. Justin knew Blake was the type who would stop at nothing to keep the public against him. It was clear she had the power to poison his reputation, turning the other co-stars against him. In fact, they all seemed to side with Blake during the controversy. Justin might have also been aware of how Blake had done something similar to Penn Badgley before they started dating. Despite all this, Justin recognized that Blake had the connections to potentially destroy his career, which is why he chose silence as his only option, not saying a word until Blake continued with her accusations and lies. However, in the amended lawsuit, Blake added two other actresses whom Justin supposedly harassed on set, claiming they were willing to testify at trial. These actresses were rumored to be Isabella Ferrer and Jenny Slate. But the claim about Isabella being harassed on set seemed utterly baseless, considering she personally messaged Justin after filming to thank him for making the set a safe space for her and everyone else. She thanked him for giving her a fantastic platform for her first film and praised him for his efforts as a director to create a comfortable and safe environment. She wrote, "You are such a wonderful, smart, and sincere director, and you created such a comfortable, safe space for me to feel like I could fully step into this role. I couldn't have asked for a more welcoming environment. It will stay with me for the rest of my life." Isabella would never have sent such a message if Justin had indeed harassed her, as Blake has tried to suggest. As for Jenny Slate, while she initially supported Blake, she has chosen to remain silent as mounting evidence continues to turn against Blake. It's also worth noting that Jenny has a history of abusive behavior herself, including mistreating her ex-boyfriend Chris Evans, and it seems she now exhibits similar behavior towards her friends and husband.
Hit him so much. I came back from making our movie and hit some of my friends because I was so used to just hitting Chris all the time, and a couple of my friends were like, you know what? We really don't like it, and I hit my husband, and he was like, nobody likes that.
It's either that Blake is lying, as she has done in the past, or that she's promised certain actresses career boosts in exchange for their testimony on her behalf. Either way, it's wild that Justin feared these outcomes and tried to warn the public simply by staying silent and being himself throughout the whole ordeal. The lack of public support for Justin, even after evidence showed how Blake was trying to destroy his career, is shocking. If not for his careful approach, Justin could have been finished for good, considering Blake's willingness to drown him in legal fees. When you compare their financials, it's no wonder he felt so vulnerable. Justin's net worth is estimated between $4 to $6 million, while Blake is worth around $30 million, and her husband, Ryan Reynolds, is worth an astounding $350 million. This means they not only have the financial power to intimidate Justin, but their celebrity status also gives them significant influence. Despite the many ways Blake affected him on set, Justin still warned the public through his actions by holding back his lawsuit until after Blake filed hers. Unfortunately, he knew he couldn't afford the high legal fees, which is precisely why Blake and her team targeted him. They wanted to strip him of his net worth, take the movie from him, and publicly humiliate him at the premiere. What's even more surprising is that Justin managed to come back with the help of his billionaire friend, Steve Sarowitz, co-founder of Wayfarer Studios, whose net worth is an impressive $2.5 billion. This is a significant financial advantage, far surpassing Blake and Ryan's combined worth. And yet, Blake's amended lawsuit expresses disappointment that Justin got a fighting chance, largely due to his billionaire connection. She seems to believe that without this support, Justin would have been forced to settle due to the high legal fees. In addition to the financial resources at their disposal, Blake and Ryan's influence in Hollywood also played a key role in their efforts to take down Justin. Their connections allow them to pull strings and secure favors, making the situation even more daunting for Justin, both before and after he was let go by his agent. The whole scenario highlights just how far-reaching their power is and how much Justin had to fight against. William Morris Endeavor in favor of Blake and Ryan, who are represented by the same talent agency, initially tried to present that there was no bias in Justin being let go. However, the truth came out when the agency's chief executive, Ari Emanuel, openly expressed his distaste for Justin and supported Blake and Ryan instead. Emanuel said, "I mean, it is a messed up bad situation with what Baldoni is doing until I fired him. I've known Ryan and Blake for over a decade. They're really incredible people in Hollywood. They've been incredibly successful. They are charitable. They've given tons of money away." He went on to affirm that he was a ride-or-die supporter of Blake and Ryan. Justin's lawyer, Brian Fredman, responded, pointing out that Ari's perspective on Justin would likely have been different if Justin had been a client at his agency. This situation highlights the immense star power Blake and Ryan wield and how Justin was seen as expendable, even by the very agency meant to protect his interests. Now, many of the things Justin feared would happen have indeed come to pass, as Blake's influence has been on full display. She has shown just how far she's willing to go in twisting stories to fit her narrative, something the public isn't buying. Justin has suffered multiple misfortunes, including losing his talent agency due to the controversy. Despite gaining some favor with the public, he remains largely unsupported in Hollywood, where the majority still stands behind Blake and Ryan due to their popularity and influence. In December 2024, just a week before Blake filed her lawsuit, Justin was awarded the 2024 Vital Voices Solidarity Award, which honors men who have shown courage and compassion in advocating on behalf of women and girls worldwide. Justin was recognized for his vocal support of feminism. The award was presented to him by His It Ends With Us co-star Hassan Minhaj. However, as the drama escalated on social media, with Blake's old interviews resurfacing and fueling speculations about what may have happened on set, Vital Voices rescinded the award on December 23, 2024, just after Blake filed her paperwork. They issued a statement saying, "On December 9, 2024, we recognize Justin Baldoni with this award. On Saturday, December 21st, we learned through news reports about a lawsuit brought by Blake Lively against Mr. Baldoni, his publicists, and others that is disturbing and alleges abhorrent conduct." What's crazy isn't just that Blake and Ryan mocked Justin's feminist beliefs, but that in the amended lawsuit, Blake quoted Justin's 2017 TED Talk, trying to take his feminist ideologies out of context in an effort to discredit him. This wasn't the first time Blake publicly criticized Justin's approach to feminism. A few weeks before the release of It Ends With Us, Blake posted on Instagram expressing a bad feeling about nice men who use feminism as a tool. Now, with the rescinding of his feminism award, it's clear that this was no coincidence. To make matters worse, many of Justin's co-stars, including Colleen Hoover, unfollowed him after all of this drama, which felt like a massive betrayal, especially considering how aligned Justin and Colleen had been since 2019. But perhaps the most shocking loss for Justin wasn't just the fallout with Hollywood or his co-stars, but his longtime podcast co-host, Liz Plank. Justin had hosted the Man Enough podcast alongside Liz for years, but on December 23, 2024, Liz announced that she was leaving the show after 4 years. This marked one of the most personal losses for Justin in the midst of everything else, and it underscored how deeply his battle with Blake had affected his relationships, both professionally and personally. She said, "I'm writing to you today to let you know that I have had my representatives inform Wayfarer that I will no longer be co-hosting the Man Enough podcast.